Welcome, I'm Pensive Piper, and today I'm sharing some of my top pipe smoking tips. Now these are geared toward the newer pipe smoker, but they're useful for pipe smokers of any skill level. Thanks for joining me, and let's get started. If you haven't already purchased a pipe, I highly recommend picking up a classic all-American Missouri Meerschaum corncob pipe. These pipes have a wonderful working man aesthetic that is uniquely American. While they may not be as flashy as some of their Briar counterparts, they offer an excellent smoking experience that rivals much more expensive pipes. They're durable and affordable. You simply can't go wrong smoking a corncob pipe. The common advice given to new pipe smokers is to start with an aromatic blend. While this isn't bad advice, aromatic blends have a much higher moisture content than other blends, and this can make them much more difficult to smoke for new pipe smokers. I recommend starting with one of the codger blends. These blends were available to the masses in drugstores for decades and remain extremely popular today. Blends such as Prince Albert, Carter Hall, Velvet, Half and Half, and Sir Walter Raleigh require little to no preparation, are affordable, and will offer an enjoyable smoking experience. And if you do prefer to start with an aromatic, stick to one of the more popular blends like Captain Black or Lane 1Q. These two have a wonderful room note and generally have a pretty low moisture content as far as aromatic blends go, although you may still have to dry them out a bit before smoking. Allow your tobacco to dry slightly before packing it into your pipe. Whether you're smoking ribbon cut, which is the most common form of pipe tobacco, or a flake, crumble cake, coins, or plug tobacco, it will most likely need to dry slightly to ensure a consistent burn while smoking. You can do this simply by placing the tobacco you'd like to smoke onto a piece of paper or a leather mat like I have. Gently spread the tobacco out and allow it to dry until it has just a little bit of crunch to it. There is no magic amount of time, as every blend will be different. Some may be ready in 30 minutes, and others may take a couple of hours. If you're smoking a heavily topped aromatic blend, it may not get dry, even if you leave it out overnight, and that's okay. You may just have to relight several times during your smoke, and you may have some extra moisture inside your pipe when you're done. A caveat to this is not to let the tobacco get too dry, as it will scorch when you light it, and the flavor of the tobacco will be lost. Generally speaking, on a sliding scale between wet and dry tobacco, you want to lean towards the dry side. As with drying out your tobacco before smoking, when it comes to packing your pipe, it's all about finding the Goldilocks zone. Not too tight and not too loose. I think it's common for new pipe smokers to overpack their pipes, so be mindful when you're loading up your pipe to allow adequate airflow. Unless you know you're going to be smoking in a windy environment, it's recommended to lean slightly towards having an open draw on your pipe. Test the draw to make sure it's right, and don't hesitate to use the pick on your pipe tool and start again if necessary. This is essential to get right, and will get easier with practice. Be gentle with how you light the pipe. You can use matches, a Bic, or a fancy pipe lighter. But just be gentle with how you light your pipe. The goal is to create a warm cherry or ember that will burn your tobacco slowly. If you've prepared and packed your tobacco properly, and get the lighting process right, you may not have to relight your pipe at all. Sometimes, however, no matter how well we perform these steps, or if we get lost in conversation with a friend, the pipe will go out and need to be relit. And that's okay. Just relight the pipe gently and continue smoking. Oh, and one more thing. Avoid cigar torch lighters, as they can seriously damage your pipes. Don't say I didn't warn you. Draw on your pipe by inhaling through your nose. By inhaling through your nose, you ensure a gentle draw on your pipe. A occasionally breathe lightly out of your mouth back through the end of the pipe. When you do that, you'll see a little bit of smoke coming out of the end of your bowl. This gentle inhale and exhale motion allows you to regulate the amount of airflow that's passing through the ember, and that keeps the smoke cool and consistent. Now, every bowl of tobacco is going to smoke a little bit differently, so finding the right cadence or rhythm to your draws is going to take some practice, but that's a lot of the fun. Resist the urge to tamp your tobacco too frequently. It's been my experience with new pipe smokers that they simply cannot resist the urge to take their pipe tool and mash down their tobacco. Resist this urge. After a good bit, a layer of ash will build up and need gently pressed down to ensure the ember inside the pipe continues to burn. However, you generally only need to tamp the tobacco a couple of times during the entire smoke, so do your best to stay patient. Usually, the draw on your pipe will become noticeably more open, and the amount of smoke that you're drawing is greatly reduced. This is a sign that it's time to tamp. Another sign may be the ashes on top having a light and fluffy look to them. When it is finally time to tamp, use a very gentle hand and lightly press down onto the ashes using your pipe tool. Tamping is a feel-based process, and staying patient and being gentle with your pipe tool will greatly aid you as you learn the proper frequency and touch of tamping your pipe tobacco. Stop smoking your pipe when you feel like it. You may find that you only get about halfway through a bowl of tobacco before you feel like stopping, and that's okay. There is never any pressure to smoke more than you feel like, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. You may start to experience lightheadedness, cold sweats, and possibly even nausea. The instant that you start to feel any of those symptoms, put the pipe down and stop smoking. That's a rush of nicotine hitting your system, and if you're not used to it, it can really make you feel off. Don't worry, this usually only happens to brand new pipe smokers, and your body will adapt as you continue to smoke your pipe in the future. You're also not going to become addicted to nicotine overnight, so no need to fret if this is something you're still just experimenting with. Pipe smoking is meant to be enjoyable, and if that means you stop smoking your pipe before you finished an entire bowl of tobacco, that is perfectly acceptable. Be patient. Pipe smoking is meant to slow you down, encourage thoughtfulness, and enhance a contemplative state of mind. Embrace all the steps in that process and understand that you are not going to smoke the perfect bowl of tobacco on your first try. All of us continue to chase that perfect bowl. When all the elements come together, the pipe smoking experience can be magical. Adhering to the steps we've talked about today and bringing a proper mindset will hopefully lead you to experiencing some of the magic that pipe smoking can capture. One last tip. When you're done, make sure to empty your ashes into an ashtray and not your trash can, even if you think the ember is out. Safety first, and trust me on this one. Thanks for joining me. If you've got a tip or trick you'd like to share, or you think I missed something, feel free to leave a comment. Oh, and please, if you enjoyed the content, like the video and be sure to subscribe to my channel.